Yeah, there's a pretty long tournament. Starts Wednesday, and there's a lot of wrestling. It gets pretty tiring wrestling for 4 days straight.
How many matches in all?
I had four, but if you lose, you can end up having a lot more.
A lot of these kids that you wrestled this last week or weekend, I'm guessing you've seen at least once, or?
I've seen a couple of them. I wrestled a kid I had in the semis this year, and I don't know.
That helps, though.
Sometimes, if it's a close match, yeah. Sometimes the loser gets a little bit of an advantage. There are a lot of people there, and I didn't look up this year. That gets a little nerve-wracking when you look up and see the 10,000 people. I just try to stay focused on my match. I knew that if I wrestled my style that I could come out on top, and that's what I had to do. The first 30 seconds or so was kind of just feeling each other out, and then we got into like a scramble, and I ended up getting takedown, and I rode him for the rest of the period. And then second period, I went down, and he's known as a very good mat wrestler, like good riding, good on the bottom, and I reversed him pretty much right away in the period, and I rode him out for the second period. So third period, I had a 4-0 lead, and he didn't go down on me. Like, you get a point for an escape, and he chose to go neutral instead. And the third period, just a lot of scrambles, there was no points given, so the end of the match 4-0. The last 10 or 15 seconds, kind of was just in a position, I was just holding on, trying to,
So you knew?
Yeah, I knew. I was waiting for them to blow the whistle, and I didn't really have anything planned. I just stood up and yelled a little bit. And I just kind of did whatever I felt like and tried to soak it up. It feels good. Just, everything's paid off that I've done. It feels good to get recognized for it.
You're joining a pretty elite club of Mora High School wrestlers. It's a storied program with a lot of talent that's passed through this room here. Mm-hmm. So what's it mean to just be one of only three to come home with an individual state title?
It's just an honor. There's a lot of good wrestlers that have came through here, and it's an honor to be considered with them. Yeah, I know most of the old wrestlers, at least from when my dad started coaching.
Most of your, if not all, of your matches since you started wrestling here at Mora High School, your dad's been in your corner. This match was, I'm guessing, no different than, I'm sure he was as loud as usual, and maybe even louder. What's it been like to have your dad with you through this whole ride, and then to cap off all the hard work with a state tournament title?
It's been really special. It's special to me and him, and we just try to soak up that moment, every moment as much as possible. Yeah, it kind of feels like it's end of high school right now for me because it's all that I wanted to do this year. So I just gotta get through this last couple months of high school.
What about the next generation of Mora wrestling? You got to know that these younger guys are looking up to you, saying, "I want to be like Andy Youngblom." What do you tell them?
Hard work, a lot of practice. You gotta really want it. You gotta set your goals. I wrote winning state down on a piece of paper as one of my goals when I was in 7th or 8th grade.
And you've come close a few times.
I did come close. I had a lot of pressure on myself. It was definitely, I knew what I wanted and worked for it. You got to be 100% committed because there's not really any time that you can slack off during the wrestling season. I usually lose about 20 pounds once wrestling starts.
Really?
Yeah. During football, I weighed over 160 and wrestled 140 this year. The whole winter is pretty much of dieting and controlling what you eat, and it takes a lot of dedication. You can't just do whatever you want.
And as far as practice goes, it's a full-time job.
It is. Yeah. I chose South Dakota. I went on a couple visits, and I just really liked the atmosphere. I liked all the guys. It's South Dakota, so it's a small town feel kind of. I know I didn't want to be in Minneapolis or St. Paul or whatever. So I just liked the feel I got from it, the atmosphere. And obviously the wrestlers and the wrestling club.
You'll be wrestling. Does the weight classes change for college, or how does that work?
I will probably be wrestling 141 or 149, depending on